On this episode of DPV, we're installing a new brake booster master cylinder in my 1969 Impala. Man, I'm not sure why I waited till, middle of January to start this project, but let's get after it. You see here, the drum brakes, there's no booster because drum brakes don't need as much, push, but the disc brakes are going to be a lot better. So we're going to take this guy off, take out the proportioning valve here. It'll be a different ratio of pressure front to rear, so this gets replaced. So let's get after it. Now you really should use a flare wrench when you're working on brake lines and whatnot, but I don't have a 9/16 flare wrench, so run what you brung. Probably gonna puke fluid everywhere. Nope, do not. One more little guy right underneath there, and we'll pull all this out. Get to it right under here. This next part's gonna be hard to film, so I'll just tell you what's going on. These studs here are actually like welded to the bracket, and this is the bolt pattern of the back of the booster. So this one came out of the disc brake car, and the studs are not welded in. The holes are open except the back of the master cylinder. So these four studs insert here. Now, it's hard to see it, but all that stuff is above the steering column. So the steering column has to come out in order for that bracket to come out. Obviously I can't film it with my fat body laying in this hole here. So I'm gonna pull the steering column, pull that bracket, and get them swapped out. So in pulling the steering column, you see this one has a spot for the column shift, but I've got the B&M Mega Shifter. So I've got another column right in here. The disc brakes parts car was a console shift, so it does not have the column shifter on there. It's nice, but I'll have to swap out the ignition. Alright, so I was a little mistaken on those studs. They're not welded in, they're just pressed in. So taking this out was completely unnecessary because I could have just tapped these out through the firewall. But now it's going to give me a good chance to get these parts cleaned up, make them looking good. Then there's some bushings in here where the pedal assembly attaches. I'm going to see if I can find replacement bushings, make it all as good as new. My attitude on this build is a little bit different than on the Big Chief. The Big Chief, I'm always bashing on it. I'm usually just trying to quickly get it ready for the next wheeling trip or whatever. So sometimes I cut corners, but on this guy, not planning on driving it anytime soon. We're supposed to get like 20 inches of snow tomorrow. Winter's just coming late. So, yeah, not driving it. So I can take my time, do it right, replace everything it needs replaced, and just make it as good as new. Alright, so it didn't quite snow 20 inches, but it did snow about 12 inches or so, and snowed for like an entire week. It was pretty cool. But this past week it's just been raining. So it is all melted away except for a few snow piles. So I'm gonna get back after it. Need to put together that booster and master cylinder and get it bled on the bench. So I did go pick up some new bushings for the brake pedal. You just insert right in here, because I'm thinking the ones from 1969 are probably nice, dry and cracked and everything. So put in some new bushings in there. Get the disc brake pedal put on, and I got a new wire wheel here to clean this sucker up. So right now we're going to take this apart. There's some brackets and stuff that hold the proportioning valve on. Here's the proportioning valve. There's a bracket that holds it onto here, and we need to bleed this master cylinder on the bench. But it's a little bit chilly, so first thing we're gonna do is get some heat going. First step to bleed this master cylinder, got it mounted here up in the vise. It comes with these little adapters to hold onto the tubes here. And they just insert right here on the side. Might work better to hook the tube on before you insert that. It comes with this little piece here that you attach to the top of your master cylinder in between the two reservoirs. You need to make sure that the tubes go all the way to the bottom of the reservoir, otherwise you'll end up sucking air. So now we got to fill it up with brake fluid. And using just a blunt tool, slowly push it in. Ooh. It's kind of a hard push. You just keep doing that until all the air bubbles are gone, all the way in, and let it go slowly back. Still a few more bubbles in this back one. All right. Now the directions say to actually leave these, pull the tubes from the reservoirs, but keep them inserted into the ports there. But I want to get my proportioning valve and everything all put together here on the bench. It's going to be much easier to install this on the bench than leaning over the fender. Alright, so now we'll put the booster back on. It's actually easier to get this bracket on with the booster off because of how the stud goes through here. So I'm going to get this bracket on there first. I had to kind of tweak the lines a little bit to make it all line up. It's looking good now. New bushing in. It's all nice and tight now. Alright, so I found another difference between the disc brake Impala versus the drum brake Impala. It kind of puzzled me at first. It's kind of silly. It has to do with the brake pedal switch. This pedal is from the drum brakes. You can see the arm that hits the brake pedal switch is angled upward, where the one that hits the switch on the disc brake car angled downward. It's like, what the heck? And it's got this little relief mark. I've had this thing disassembled for years, so didn't remember how it really went back together. You can see there's two holes on the pedal. In the drum brake car, the switch arm is on the lower hole, and the rod that goes into the master cylinder is on the top hole. So on the drum brake car, the master cylinder mounts up here, but on the disc brake car, it mounts down here. So the disc brake car, the rod that goes into the master cylinder attaches to this lower hole. Brake pedal switch attaches to this upper hole. That is why it angles downward and has this relief for the frame up here. Alright, I got it installed. Looks pretty sweet. Also got the disc brake pedal installed. Still got to hook up the linkage. So the next time I work on the Impala, number one, I got to get those brake lines hooked up. The drum brake portioning valves hooked up down there. So yeah, I'll have to extend these lines up, get those hooked up. So I'll be building those. Then we'll need to bleed the brakes. I lost a castle nut there, so that's why that's not hooked up. So I'll get one of those. I need to show you how to adjust the wheel bearings, because currently I just snugged them up with the impact wrench, so I'll need to back those off and adjust the bearings, and I'll show you how to do that. And then probably on a separate episode, I'll be taking these two steering columns, making one good column, and replacing whatever parts might need to be replaced. So I'll be tearing into those. I've never torn into a steering column before, so that'll be interesting. I'll show you guys what I learned along the way. So that's it for this episode. Thank you again, Summit, for the help on this project. New brake parts are going to be awesome. If you're needing parts for your hot rod, head on over to Summit Racing. They've got great parts and great service. So I hope you like this video. Stay tuned for more on the Impala. We'll be working on the Big Chief again soon. Like always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.